Hi, I'm Kate Regbu. Welcome to Kate O Show. Uh, a happy New Year to you, and I hope you had a fantastic Christmas. And so, we're going to continue with the series we've been working on, which is my journey, taking you through my journey of adversity. Last week we did chapter two, and the week before we did chapter one. And I'll be taking you know, the text or the discussion will be from, this book, this awesome book, Triumph in the Midst of Adversity. Okay. This is where we'll be discussing from. If you have not got your copy yet, you can get a copy from Amazon. Okay, is if you didn't get it a week before, then now you should get it now. Prices are going up, so you better get your copy. And also, you can find a copy on Lulu as well. Okay, you can find a better version of that one with the key strategy in front of it, so you can get that one as well on Amazon. On Lulu rather. So get it and leave your comments, your review, what you think about the book, because this book have helped a lot of people tremendously. And even myself who wrote it, I still look through it and read it time to time because the strategies are indeed, working. Okay, so it's chapter three of this book. It's titled is about some adversity I was confronted with. Okay, and this is the longest chapter in this book. So because it's the longest chapter in this book, I will be talking about just two subtitles, and I will encourage you to get your copy so you can read the rest. Okay, it's available on Kindle and paperback on Amazon. All right, and the audio version is on my website www.triumphinthemidstofadversity.com. If you're someone that you feel you're so busy, you don't read books, or you're just a lazy reader, then that option will be, something you should consider. All right. So now, some adversity I was confronted with. Let me just read a bit from here. Say, oftentimes people go through adversity at different stages in life. However, in my situation, right from the time I left Nigeria and moved to Ireland, it seems as if adversity had become the order of the day. I then realized that the challenges I had in 8 years living in Ireland and for the first 2 years I spent living in London combined was more than the difficulties I encountered in my 36 years I lived while back home in Nigeria. Did you hear that, guys? Fantastic. So I encountered in my 36 years of what? While living back home in Nigeria. Some of you will call it bad luck. Others will call it home trouble. And some will call it immigrant challenges. Nevertheless, whatever you choose to call it, know for sure that it is that in all these difficulties, rather, you can truly what? Overcome. I will be sharing with you some of the difficulties I encountered, and later in chapter 5, I'll be sharing with you the strategy I used in approaching my adversity and overcome. All right, so I have to note something down here. Okay, that's okay, I'll do it later. All right, so the first one I want to talk to you about is the health issues with my twin daughters. This is something used to be so challenging to talk about until I wrote this book. I would like to share with you, first of all the sudden changes and complex health issues that came upon my lovely twin daughters, twin one and twin two, who were born at 35 weeks, normal delivery with no medical consent. Because when people hear twins, they'll say, oh, twins are always having one thing or the other. But in my case, I must tell you, my twin pregnancy and delivery were smooth, very smooth. In fact, my twin delivery was the easiest delivery I've had. Was so boom, boom, boom. That's how they came out. Because my boys are big. My first two children are boys, are usually very big babies. And so when I had twins, twins are always smaller sizes. So it was easier. And by the grace of God, there was no complication. All right, during the pregnancy for 36 weeks and delivery. But exactly 2 weeks and 3 weeks later, something happened. And if you want to watch and listen to what happened and continue watching, but please subscribe to this channel, hit the like button and share. Share, because why would you share this? Because you must share, because there are people who are going through a similar situation now. And just sharing my own story and how I handled my situation is going to help them tremendously. You can be calling them to say how they are doing, you sympathize with them, you feel sorry for them, but the truth about the matter is that feeling sorry for anyone or for yourself does not change anything. It doesn't help you. Okay, so share it. That's the best thing you can do for them. Let them learn from me, and if they have questions, they can ask me. All right. So my twin daughters, twin one and twin two, they were fine, as I said. When we're living in Clifton at the time, this experience, when I had this experience, we're living in Clifton. And if you wonder where's Clifton, Clifton is in County Galway in Ireland. So on this fateful day, my children were having cold, and we're living in this mountainous region. It's so cold, and we're living in a place where you're waiting for your residency, and they control the temperature there. They control the heating, so they can turn it off anytime, and the place becomes so cold, you know. And that was how my children contacted cold. They had a cold, and those were so blocked. And their dad went to the pharmacy to speak to the GP rather, and they were given a prescription. And my husband got to the GP to get the prescription and brought it to me to administer to these children. But unknown to me, what I'm thinking now is that they probably have given those children, you know, medication based on their brother's age. I don't know what they were thinking, but I realized that it was what an overdose of antibiotics. So when I was administering this medication, I gave for the two of them first day. The twin one was better. I could see that she was fine now. She's playing, so I stopped giving her the medication. Normally, you would say you should complete the dosage of an antibiotics, but God knew why made me stop it because she's fine. If not, now who knows, I'll be dealing with two of them, and now the doctors would have actually have a reason to say that their diagnosis is right. But listen, so I stopped for twin once, I continued with twin two, and I noticed twin two was doing like this. I noticed my child doing like that, and I was telling the dad that, oh my God, look at how this child is doing. I'm thinking that the medication I'm giving to her is something about it. And please, I need to just, stop it. He said, oh my goodness, you question everything. You might be someone like me, and maybe you're watching now, have a partner, or you have a relationship, and this is what your partner is thinking about you, that you question things too much. Please don't shut up because they're picking on you, that you're questioning too much and you want to let things go. You cannot be someone else. Anything that God has put in you, that you were born with, not what you form, how you are created, is for a purpose. Probably, you have a partner that is that overlook things. That's why I made you to be the one that pay attention. But that's what he said to me. He said, "Oh, he's playing. Please don't stop. Continue to give her. This is North Africa. This is Europe, and there's no one out there who's going to be giving a 2-month-old baby anything that's going to harm the baby." When he said that, I was like, okay, if you say, okay, explained that later the baby was fine. But behold, as I continued with the medication, I finished. Before we know it, the child had a shake. As I was giving the medication, I saw that the child did like this one day. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? I said it, oh, let me stop this medication. Oh, said it was okay. You know how it's now women, when we see something and they say no, when it happened now, we have to, of course, we have to now mention what we said before, which is usual, which is normal. So I took her and I explained to the manager in the premises that look at what's happening to my child. He said, okay, you should watch the child till 12 midnight and see how she is. If she's fine, they will know that there's nothing serious. But if she's not fine, she repeats it again, they will have to call the ambulance. So we can take you to the, we'd have to call the ambulance or so, or take it or refer you to the GP. I stayed up past 12 midnight, you know, nothing. She was fine. I was awake all through. She was fine. I said, thank God. But the next day, during the day again, she repeated the same thing again. Oh my goodness. I said, what is this? I went to the GP. I wanted to go to the GP. The GP said that there's a nurse, health nurse that'll be coming in some time. But he doesn't know when, that she wait for the nurse to come. My God, I've said, oh, with a child doing like this, I have to wait until someone will come that we don't even know when the person is coming. I said, please, can you give us a note? Let's go to the hospital. But sometimes hospital is not actually the answer. That is what I realized in my situation. Because if I just followed myself and stopped the medication, I probably give my child coconut fluid from coconut, the water inside of the coconut, the fluid, the liquid, you know, maybe that would have even helped my child better. But in civilized world, we want to do everything professionally, we want to take the child to hospital, which is a good thing to do, but taking the child to the hospital made my child's situation worse. And at a point I was regretting for a long time, and even giving her the medication, I actually was taking blame for myself at some point, thinking that, oh my God, can I give my child something that, accept to give my child what the doctor have prescribed that caused this kind of problem for my child. But anyway, that is my journey. So now we had to go to the GP. He gave a letter to take to the hospital. It was a sealed in, he kept the letter in a sealed envelope. I took it and I went to the hospital. And the lesson I must say to you here is never take a sealed envelope concerning your family member without reading it and go and hand it to someone else. So when I handed this letter to the lady at the emergency in Galway Hospital, it's how many years now? 13 years ago, but it's so vivid. And if you can rewind the hand of the clock, I would have rewind it and I will not take the envelope to the hospital. I will open it and question it. If you say no, you won't change it, then I will not go to hospital. I will not take that letter to the hospital. I will just go to hospital without the letter. But now I took the letter, then they see the envelope. They asked me at the counter, what is the matter with your baby, madam? I told them this is what is happening to my child. This is what happened. I gave her this medication that was prescribed when she had a cold, and she did this, she shook, and this is what she's doing now. And she said, oh, the doctor just wrote here that he thinks that your child is suffering from epilepsy. Oh my gosh. I went to the hospital now. I saw the first, how they go through the initial stage. They now saw the consultant, and I told them the same thing. And they came to me and they said to me, no, your child is not having any reaction for medication. She is what? She's epileptic. Do you have anyone suffering from epilepsy in your family? And I said, no. They say that is due to the birthmark. Sorry, they say it's due to the beritum epilepsy. They say she's shaking due to the birthmarks on her body. She had birthmark, natural birthmark. Those were the same birthmarks that were examined in the hospital when one of the white nurses, doctor was concerned, and they examined them, both of them, and they invited an Indian doctor, a Nigerian doctor, white doctor, English doctor, and they looked at the child. They said, they concluded, and they told me that, listen, is nothing to worry about. Is a common thing that happened to the African and Asian children. Birthmarks are something common that it has no medical implication. But now that she was given an overdose of antibiotics, they now related back to the, birthmark that she had that was told already that has no medical implication. That is how the enemy has come and planned to take my joy. These are the children I prayed for. Remember, I prayed for these children even before I got married, that I was going to have twins after my two boys. And now God have given me these children, and then the enemy has come like a flood. He wants to come and steal my joy. So I went in there. They said, oh, does anyone have epilepsy in your family? And I said, no, no one has epilepsy in my family that I know of. He said, okay, we're going to give her some medication to stop the shake, but the reason she's shaking is because of the birthmarks on her body. And I said, oh, the birthmark. I said, but the birthmark, they told me already in the hospital that it has no medical implication, and her twin sister have the same birthmark as well. And guess what? They said that I should just watch that in a couple of months, minimum of 2 months, that the child, maximum of 2 months, that the child will be having the same issue like her twin sister, that she's going to have shakes as well, that is seizures. I say, what? Anyway, they told me they want to give her something to stop the shake. They didn't, they sent a video recording to one consultant, Dr. Brian Lynch in Galway, no, in Temple Street Hospital, because I was in Galway Hospital now. They sent it to him in Temple Street Hospital. They just told me about my child. They started telling them, give her his epilepsy because he's the chief neurologist in Ireland. But knowing science and not having common sense and knowing there are certain race that have certain attribute that is not a problem is a big thing that is of concern. So they gave her that medication they said they would give her medication to calm her down, blah, blah, blah. And also the child was fine. They said they will have to transfer her to the hospital. They put her oxygen mask, they carried the oxygen mask with specialist people on the ambulance with me to transfer her to Temple Street Hospital. And we got to Temple Street Hospital. This child was fine for 9 days. We were there. She was fine. They didn't give her any medication. They said they want to observe her first, and she was fine. Then later they now said yes, but even though she was fine, they have to carry an ECG and MRI scan. An ECG, they have to carry an ECG. And when they carry out an ECG, but one thing before I left Galway Hospital, guess what, guys? I met a lady there who whispered to me that, oh, this one medication the teacher took to themselves Augmentin Duo. He said, oh, Do you know that medication is banned in this hospital due to adverse reaction to children? And this is the same medication that the consultant told me that has no link, that my daughter's shaking has no link to the medication, guys. That it doesn't have any effect. That antibiotics doesn't, augmentin, which is a penicillin-based antibiotic that has nothing to do with my daughter shaking, guys. That is just because of the birthmarks on her body. That's why she's shaking. For those of you who are carrying back from Africa to go to Western world, you need to watch it, guys. Stay back home. That's my answer for you. Stay back home because if you do not go, you do not know. What I've been through in my journey of traveling abroad to live, oh my goodness. If not for the grace of God, the enemy would have triumphed over me. So, the lady said that to me. And also when the doctors are coming to the hospital, student doctors, they come and look at the baby that they've given all those neurofibromatosis, whatever. When they came, they look at the child, they say, but mom, your child is a normal baby. But they've told us that your child have this, blah, blah, blah. I say, yes, that's what I told them as well. But they said, no, that they said, but this child is normal. She's fine. Anyway, and I asked the pharmacist that for a child, for my child to take this medication, what would be the right dose for her? Because I knew it was overdose my daughter had. But they are trying to tell me that the reaction my daughter is having has nothing to do with the medication she had taken, but was as a result of birthmarks, guys. Listen to this. I've seen people, even from my place, that have birthmarks all over their body. They never had seizures. Even in my church in Dublin, there's a lady there who is light skin, who have a lot of birthmarks, big ones in her body. She never had any shock, any shake, or any seizure. Okay, but these are doctors in Ireland telling me that the shake my daughter was having was due to birthmark. So that was how I asked the doctor, the pharmacist. Pharmacist said it's depending on the weight of my baby. So I looked at the weight of the baby that they weighed in the hospital, and I gave it to her to make the calculation. And she told me your daughter should be taking 1 meal of this medication with the strength that the medication was prescribed. Guess what, guys? How many meals my daughter was having? She was on 5 meals, Jehovah. She was taking 5 times what she should take. And doctors were telling me that the medication that she took has nothing to do with the shake. Do you hear this, guys? Oh my goodness. So I'm like, what? 1 meal? She wrote it down in this thing there, and I had it somewhere. I was just thinking that if I have it, I'll put it in this book. Guys, if you're just joining me now, I'm taking you through my journey of adversity from this book, Triumph in the Midst of Adversity, which became bestseller in 3 categories on Amazon within 3 months of publish. Okay, so I've put something inside of it. Maybe I should remove this big one so you can see properly. Let me just put something inside that's a bit later. So guys, that is what it is. That's my journey I'm sharing with you now. You have to learn from my challenges. Do not allow people to use their medical practice to ruin your life or ruin your life of your baby for you, because now my daughter is still going through difficult situation. Now she's 13 years old. She's still globally developmentally delayed. She's not speaking yet, I must tell you, and she's still, having a continence need. This is what doctors cost for me. So, and they said, oh, in 2 months' time, the longest you can wait, you will see that your second twin daughter, which is twin one, is going to suffer from seizures like her sister, because they're exactly the same. They were even asking me then, how do I recognize the two, differentiate? I told them this one have birthmark on the face, while this one have, on the nose, and one is bigger. Okay, that's okay, fine. But that one is going to have seizures as well. And guess what? When I was coming to the hospital, I wanted to come with my twin daughters. There's a lady from the integration and reception industry department, rather, reception and integration department of Ireland. Those are the people that's supposed to be supporting refugees or asylum seekers or people who are waiting for their papers in Ireland. This woman denied me of coming with my twin daughter. And that time, that baby was not feeding drinking her infant milk that much. She solely rely more on breast milk. She take bottle feed, but it doesn't drink as much as her sister. So that's why she's probably still smaller. Even though she was smaller at birth, she was still, smaller because she eat less. So it's breast milk she really enjoyed. And now I was taking the sister to the hospital, and that woman insisted I must leave the other twin behind. Can you imagine this, guys? This is what we go through as immigrants in a strange land. You're thinking, oh, we're abroad. Oh, the weather makes people's skin to shine, thinking that everybody's enjoying here. My dear, there's a lot of struggles that we went through coming abroad. Okay, you need to read this book so you get more details. You know, Triumph in the Midst of Adversity is on Amazon. It's in Kindle back, and is available on paperback and in paperback as well. Paperback, Kindle, and any part of the world you are in. If you don't even have Kindle, then you can go on my website and listen to the audio version. It's www.triumphinthemidstofadversity.com. That is the website. Please listen to this book, because read this book, because it's a must read. If you are a lazy reader, if you cannot read it with paper like this, if you cannot read it online, then you must listen to the audio, guys. It's not because I'm marketing this book, but I did want you to learn from my own life experience, so that you don't crumble in your adversity, so you can learn how to turn your pain to profit, and your sorrow to success, and your failure to fulfillment. How you can turn difficulties to opportunities. You need to learn it. And others, I also share stories of other people here who were going through a difficult situation and what they did to help themselves. You must read this book, guys. It's a must read. So that was it. And now my daughter was placed on those medication. They didn't tell me it was an anticonvulsant until I got to Temple Street. I met this guy who feel like a genius, who knows it all, but he never knew a clue, okay, about my daughter. So my daughter was perfectly fine. If I knew then, I would have administered the medication, but if you knew, now you were thinking that they know what they were doing, isn't it? That was what I thought, but they did not have a clue, because they were just doing, working with guesswork. What has happened to a child before? Maybe that's what's happening to this person. And the truth is that I wrote to the pharmaceutical company that manufactured Augmentin Duo, and they wrote to me that they are sorry, that I should give the contact detail of the doctor who is working with my daughter, so they can see how they can be of help. That it has happened to another patient, a child before, that they're really sorry it's happening to my daughter. I told this doctor, Dr. Lynch, this is what I've been told when I wrote. They said no, he said no, he's not interested. I shouldn't give his detail to them. You can see. I wanted to now come to Nigeria with my child. I wanted to leave that country or come to UK, because I said, what kind of problem is this? How can a doctor not listen? There's nothing wrong with my child. Is this medication I was giving to my child? I noticed this. And blah, blah, blah. He wouldn't listen to me. It felt so big that, who are you to come and talk to me? And in your document in hospital, they actually know those people are resident and those people are waiting for residency. Like, oh, this one, this African woman, what does she know? They look down on you so much. Anyway, so she went. Ina said he's going to do an ECG and all. I did an ECG, and the child, an EEG rather, not ECG. It's EEG. He did an EEG, and the child, an EEG result came fine. He said to me, "Oh, that's why it's fine. He's still going to request for an MRI scan." I felt that was good as well. And he did an MRI scan for my daughter, and the thing came out fine. Normally, you do EEG, you do MRI scan, the thing is fine, right? What would you advise, a doctor? What will a doctor do in that situation? Would you not say, "Oh my God, there's something I'm doing wrong here"? Okay, let's actually listen to this Black woman who said it was a medication. Let's see. And take her off, the child off anticonvulsant, and just monitor her in the hospital. This child, they monitored her 9 good days. The child was fine. But they gave me medication to give to her. By the time the medication levels start building up, oh my God, come and see what my daughter was doing. She's not checking eyes. I went through a lot. But the grace of God saw me through. Now, the child was getting worse. I have to come back to hospital again. Instead of this man to say, okay, I told him, say, this medication, please, can you stop it because it's not helping? He said, no, that it takes a while to settle down, that I shouldn't worry, that I should trust him, that he know what he's doing, that the child will settle down, that he will stop. I said, what about the side effect of this drug in my child? Because this medication now that she doesn't have epilepsy and you're treating her with epilepsy, we have side effect, because my background is a science, I'm a scientist, I have BS in microbiology, and I know what I'm talking about, but who are you to talk in Ireland when you're a Black person, and also you don't even have residency, you're not a doctor yourself? Who are you to tell a doctor that you know something about your child? But my friend said to me, in America, a medical practice, they listen to a parent, because a parent knows the child more. So with the information from a parent, that's the only when they can help the child. That why don't you sue them? Anyway, that would be a story for another day. So now I was in the hospital, and I had to go back to the hospital now with ambulance again. That's why I was going back and forth hospital. My God. Now they now have to have a big room for me and my twin daughters. Oh, Jehovah God. That was the day I prayed this. I started praying this prayer. I said, all the diseases that be placed among the Egyptians shall not come near my child. I read that book in the book of Exodus. I read it and I claimed it. My daughter was still going through all this medication. It was getting worse. Before I knew it, my daughter's eyes have turned I turned to the other way as if you have a, you know, the pupil is no more focusing anymore. The eyes were, slanted, you know, she's not behaving herself. As her age, she does not behave like her sister. She wasn't working. Oh my God. I said, well, look at what these people have caused for me. What kind of problem is it? My beautiful daughter, if you see her chubby, clean, cute children. I said, what is this? Oh my goodness. Then they get into the hospital, which I forgot to tell you. I told you earlier that as I was coming to the hospital, a one woman, Miriam, in integration reception industry, a reception departments of Ireland, organization that will help to support immigrants. She said to me, I cannot take my twin daughter. That is only one daughter that needs to go to the hospital. She insisted I can't go with her. I said, but she doesn't take enough of breast milk, enough of bottle feed, that she rely more on breast milk. She refused. She was a troublemaker. She said, I can't take my child. When I got to hospital, immediately they realized that she's a twin. Guess what? They said, you have to get the other baby. I said, but I wanted to bring her. They said, no. They said, who said that? I said, they said, anyway, you have to find a way. Now it's me now. I have to find a way to ask someone to bring the child to me. In a difficult situation I was going through, God also sent me an angel. Miriam, God bless you. From the bottom of my heart, God will bless Miriam. Miriam used to come to Clifton to drive from Entourage where she lives to come and visit us, to spend time with us. She came to hospital when I was on admission. Severally, she will cook for me to bring. She doesn't know how to cook our African food, but the way she cook her Irish stew, I will eat it because I was so like appreciative. I said, I can't believe it. She even take the children baby clothes, she go and wash and bring back to me. My goodness, that is a country where I have a sister, but it doesn't look, when it came to my children's challenges, it looked as if I didn't have a sister anymore. Never knew that that was a plan of the wicked one. That they placed my arrow that was targeted towards my children and making doctors to treat her with all this kind of bad treatment, ill treatment, wasn't far from my own household. Anyway, I just want to say thank you, Miriam and Miriam. God bless you. Miriam, God will bless you, bless your daughter, bless your husband, Davina, and Dave. God will bless all of you. And I'm really looking forward to come and pay you special visit, you know, with my children one of these days. I've not forgotten you. I'm calling your number. I'm not able to go through, but the day I will come to Entourage, when I ask for you, but now that you say you bought a place in Spain living close to your daughter, so I don't know when you'll be in Entourage, but you have to let me know what time you stay in Ireland, or if you are in Spain, just get in touch with me. I'm going to find time to bring those children to you, because this woman was like a grandmother to my children. She treated them like her own children. She was acting as if she was their mom. Come and take my boys out. She's the only one who have told me, Kate, let me take the boys out so you and your husband can have time, to have a break. That you are working so hard on these children, especially with your daughter's challenges. But on one of the visits to Temple Street with my twin daughter, as if the challenges I was going through with the twin two was not enough. Guess what? As they checked the sister, they say she's got a heart murmur. Oh my goodness, God. You can imagine how I felt. What again? Murmur of the heart from where? Oh, Rekabashanda. Holy Ghost. My God. If you do not have God with you, I don't know what I would have done. So that's why I say these strategies that I've had, the only regret I had, if I had these strategies earlier, if I'd written the book, Hacking to the Voice of God, in that 2007, I wrote this book, I have these strategies earlier, then I would have triumphed even, quicker than I did, but I thank God that actually many years after, it's about 10 years after, and I decided to write the book, What a Disobedient Child. God have mercy on me. Anyway, thank you, Lord. So I wrote the book. And Miriam, as I said, was a darling. She will always drive, she was a teacher then. She would drive to come and see us, come and help us, come and support me and my children, come to the hospital she will spend quality time with us. And I say, God bless her. So that is all about this. So now all the EEG MRI scan was fine, but the doctor insisted that I will continue with the medication. And I will see my daughter not developing well. When it got to 1 year old, she couldn't walk. She couldn't do things her sister were doing. Even her sister haven't walked, but her sister have developed. She's doing all things well. You can see she's interacting well, but her sister wasn't. It got to a stage and I said, enough is enough. What did I say? Enough is enough. Just as I've saying enough is enough, in racism now, okay, which I'm going to be sharing with you soon. So I said enough is enough. And I said, you know what? I'm going to stop this medication because there's a way this man have told us, the doctor have told us how to remove her from a certain medication. She can keep doing trial and error. They have to give my daughter medication that were banned from not entering Ireland. They have to now fill a form, go through a process for the medication to be allowed into the country, guys. My daughter was used as a guinea pig. But I know that the God Almighty that created this child, that have the spare parts of this child in his hand, I hand her over to God. Doctors might not be able to help her, might not be able to do anything, but the God of miracle, the God that said to me that her name is Miracle and her sister's name is Wonder, that God is still in heaven. And God will do a miracle in her life. So that was what happened, guys. They said she's got murmur of the heart. And I said to the doctor, murmur of the heart? Can you please, what's causing it? What is the murmur? They said they don't know. It can just be an innocent murmur. So they wanted to ignore it. That's another error that wanted to come that would have, cost me another big problem. If she was ignored, then one day we'll just have emergency again and maybe she will not be able to breathe. But I said, no, they should investigate. I insisted. And now she was investigated. And guess what again, guys? Guess what? Oh, I remember when I went to Our Lady's Children's Hospital in Crumbling, in Crumbling Hospital. Children's, is it Ladies and Children Hospital, something like that in Crumbling though, in Dublin. The cardiology brought the report after examining my daughter, doing all the scan. They said she's got the biggest hole in her heart for her age. Oh my goodness. This is a child that the pregnancy was in Ireland. I got pregnant in Ireland. I didn't carry the pregnancy in Africa. Everything was fine. They are checking them perfect. And there was no hole in her heart. Even at birth, she cried. You and I know that when a baby have a hole in their heart, they don't cry at birth. These children cried at birth. They cried, they were fine. That was why I said in this book that we're going to be talking about the physical aspect alone, but there is spiritual aspect, on this journey as well. There's a spiritual side of it as well, which, God will lay in my heart how to go about it one day. When evil, all these wicked people are at work, my goodness, the things that you'll be examining, you'll be seeing, it will not be normal. Because you and I know that a baby that have hole in their heart, every child will have a hole that when they wake, when they cry, when they are born, this little closure, it closes by itself. But when they say there's a hole in the child's heart, they can see it in the womb. With all the scan and all the technology in this present day, they will see that we're in Ireland. I was not in Nigeria. Okay, so there was no problem with this child at birth until when the sister have been attacked by anticonvulsant, started facing challenges of anticonvulsants that led to of antibiotics that led to shake, and now they treated her with anticonvulsant that's causing developmental delay. We are dealing with that. Then now is the sister as well. But anyway, to God be the glory. Everything went fine. They did the surgery and they said, oh, normally they use through tube to close it, but this one, because it's a big one, they have to go into her. But God is a good God. If you want to know the detail, please get your copy and read this book, because I need to go to in another subtitle in this book now, which I'm going to talk about. It's been challenging, been a challenging journey for me and my twin girls, but God is with us. And I believe that God have seen us through to this time. We see us through to the end. And there was a time the enemy was actually boasting that I will not even, they will not celebrate their first birthday, but through the glory of God, they celebrated their 13th birthday and they will celebrate many more years. So now I want to talk to you about sibling rivalry and hate. Attention span of people now have reduced to 4 seconds, and I don't want to keep you for too long. Okay, but please watch to the end, because before I start with sibling rivalry and hate, okay, I'm going to show you something. Or no, at the end, let me show you at the end. Let me talk to you about sibling rivalry and hate first. Then later at the end, I'm going to show you something. I wish you were watching live. I would have asked you which one you prefer. So, sibling rivalry and hate. Let me read a little bit before I continue talking to you about it. When the Bible says that a man's enemies will be the member of his own household, I saw this manifestation in my life both spiritual and physical. But for the purpose of this book, I will focus on the physical aspect. I'm the third child of 6 children, including half brothers and sisters from my mother. My elder brother Kennedy Aki shared the same mother and father. My father also had children from other women. Unfortunately, my elder brother traveled many years ago in Nigeria and never returned. And due to lack of telecommunication at the time, we all thought he was at my grandfather's place, Oviore, in Delta State, Nigeria. When my mother realized this was not the case, we all became very worried until my father's uncle returned from my late father's house to reassure my mother not to worry about my brother as he had seen Kennedy at my father's house. I grew up with my mom in Delta State, Nigeria, but the information my father's uncle gave up to date is rather shocking, for I do not know what actually happened to my brother because after being given that information from my father's uncle, I traveled to my father's place later. And when I arrived, I asked of my elder brother. My father said, my brother never came to him. As I am writing this book, I truly do not know what happened to my only sibling from both parents. You see that? So there are other dreams I used to dream and all that. If you want to know detail of that, you can see that in the book. But what I want to talk to you about today is about sibling rivalry and hate. Okay? So some people out there, you're watching me, you have brothers and sisters, you're in good relationship with everything is going well with you guys. I want to say congratulations to you. But for me, I have rather chosen to be an only child. My father was the only child of the mother. God bless him. My late dad was the only child of the mother, but have had brothers. And before my father died, I don't believe I've heard anything this hard, this bad from him that he shared about his half brothers from his father's side. But he was an only child of the mother. And now that I have siblings from my mother's side that have been come, you know, I don't know what to call, I don't know what word to use, but I've chosen to be an only child. That's the word. So let me just tell you something here. So I said here that when I did not see my brother, my older sister and my younger sister, whom I thought we were close, we were close, yeah, thought we were close, thought we were close, despite being half sisters, they changed suddenly. In my adversity with my daughter's situation, my half sisters made me realize that it does not matter how many years you have a good relationship with someone. It's only when you face adversity, then you will find out if they are truly with you, because if they are, they will stay, but if not, they will leave. For a while, I could not understand why my own sisters, whom I loved so dearly, hated me so much. Apart from the word of God that made that clear, which I referred to earlier in this paragraph, I later listened to Oprah speech, Oprah Winfrey. God bless you. You've been an inspiration to me in my journey of adversity and to overcoming my adversity. Yes, I listened to Oprah's speech with a life advice, and this actually agreed with my understanding of my half sisters, of why my half sisters hated me so much, and my friends who betrayed me with what she did. Here was Oprah saying, when you have the potential with enormous success, there is a price with that which many people do not always like you. When you surround yourself with people who are not accustomed to your success, they become fearful, scared, because you are reflecting to them something they do not recognize. Did you hear that? Oh my goodness. I realized I was surrounded with people who do not mean well for me for many years, and that held me back by pulling me down every time I'm standing up. And the worst part was I kept going to these people to share my big dreams. My dear, have you read the story of Joseph in the Bible? That is my story. When Joseph shared the dream of how he was surrounded, if 12, stars were surrounded and he was at the middle, blah, 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 and they bowed down to him, you know what happened to Joseph? He was thrown into the pit. He was sold to slavery. But did that stop Joseph from becoming who Joseph is going to be? No. So challenges will come. Enemy will try. But what God has purposed for your life must be fulfilled, except you do not know the God you serve. Devil, we want to use people around you, family, friends, to attack you here and there. But listen, You need to be determined. You need to believe in yourself. You need to apply the 8 key strategies that I shared in this book, and see the 8 key strategies to handle adversity. Is written right at the top here. Yeah, you might not be seeing it well with the reflection of my background, I don't know, but it's there written boldly there. 8 key strategies to handle adversity and what you must do and avoid to overcome any situation. If you want to watch the one for last week and the week before, you check it on Ketosho on this YouTube channel. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed yet, as you've been watching me. Subscribe and share this video and like it, because now for me to see a woman with 1 child, before I would be thinking, oh, maybe God should bless this woman with another baby. But not that many children are no good, don't get me wrong, but I'd rather prefer if I was an only child. When I was little, I used to say to my mom say, oh, will a poor person not give birth to you? This one, every minute you say you complain of this, complain of that. And I jokingly said to my mom one time that, you know what, mommy, because you rushed to have me, I was supposed to be an only child for a woman in America. Who knows? Maybe I was saying into the future. Maybe I would have been an only child of somebody, you know. But anyway, this is the reality. I have siblings that they will hate you for no reason. They will attack you for anything. Is either you care for your mother, or you buy car, or you're happy in your marriage, or you're going to school, or they don't, or just one thing or the other. They just have something they will hate, they will complain about or hate you for. But when you look at the whole thing, or accuse me of taking a loan with a house address, I never took a loan. Even at that time, I've never taken a loan in my life. You know, at the time she was accusing me that I used her house address to take a loan, I didn't take a loan. When I was working in an airline, I had an account with NatWest, and I have an overdraft, and that's where I ended. I never took a loan. They've offered me loan severally. Then I told them I wasn't having any loan yet because I was not working at the time. So, my dear, when you have this kind of household enemies, you can never do anything right. That's what I realized. There's so much adverse. There are other ones, unemployment, multiple unemployment that led to financial struggle. You read it there in this chapter as well. Another thing you can read on this chapter, let me just open it and tell you, because this chapter actually was the longest. Marital crisis, in-laws pressure in marriage. You know, that was in-laws pressure in marriage. But now, in my journey of marriage, we see not only in-laws pressure now, evil siblings, siblings, you know, final destruction of, destroying marriage relationship. Every marriage have an issue, but they sow an evil seed that that is going to put a full stop to the whole thing now, because that's what I've decided, you know. So we'll be watching me soon on my marriage journey, and the book on my marriage. I'm designing the cover now. So I will let you know so you can pre-order your copy, because I've decided to turn my life struggle to success. I will not crumble. I will never be on depression medication. God forbid it. No matter the enemy throw at me, return back to sender. And even the ones I'm dealing with already, God have delivered me from them, and they will be the one to go through themselves. So all I'm teaching you today is for you not to crumble in your adversity. Be somebody that is resilient. You know, believe in God and trust in the process. Believe in yourself. Apply my 8 key strategy, which I shared in chapter 5 of this book. Is a step-by-step that you need to follow. So we'll get to chapter 4 next week, and the other week will be chapter 5. So as I promised you guys, I'm going to show you something that you're going to enjoy. So just wait, please. Let me share with you, and please like and subscribe, and go to YouTube as well to watch that video, and leave your comment underneath the video, and you'll be asking what the video is. My special birthday dance. Okay, this is Katie Rainbow. You know, hold on guys, I did it now. What happened again? Okay, great. So this is Katie Rainbow now. In case you are not hearing me, I just said that is a song we listen to from a movie we watched when we were a kid, and I'm using it to say thank you to my fans in India. My fans from India, subscribing and liking my page on Facebook. I want to say thank you, and this is the dance I dedicated to you on my birthday, New Year's Eve. All right? So listen, guys. So the volume was not too loud. Anyway, I hope you increase the volume. That's my girl. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Oh, if you can triumph in adversity, my God, you will dance no matter the obstacle in front of you. You turn the bricks to your stepping stone to success. That's what you must learn how to do. Learn how to build the right mindset. If you are watching today and you are having struggle with handling your adversity, book one-to-one with me. Let me be your life coach. If you don't have money to pay, take the free one-to-one, 1 hour, and help yourself. Buy this book. It's like coaching you as well. This my book, Triumph in the Midst of Adversity, is like a coaching system for you as well. That you can, yeah, that's my girl. That's my appreciation to my Indian fans. That's Keto. Oh my God, that's me. That was me. So if you want to watch the remaining of this dance, go to YouTube and type Special Birthday Dance 2020, okay? Or go to my YouTube channel, Keto Show. All right, go to Keto Show, you'll see there. So I'm going to stop this now. I want to say thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button and share. Share to your friends, okay? And support this vision, because the fact that NHS is free does not mean that you're not going to help yourself. All right, I'm ready to help you to build the right mindset to overcome, to handle any difficulties that confront you and to triumph in the midst of adversity. People say there's light at the end of the tunnel, but I must tell you, right in that tunnel there can be light in it. All right, there is light right in the tunnel. Do not wait until you go to the end of the tunnel before you see light. There is light right in that tunnel. In that difficulties, there's light. And that is why this book is a must read, guys, because as humans, we are all prone to go through adversity. Don't pretend about it. Don't sweep it underneath the carpet. Don't wait until you lose your mind, then you start feeling sorry for yourself. And those who are going through a challenging time this Christmas, maybe you didn't buy them a present, or you bought them t-shirt or something, buy them a copy of this book. It's on Amazon. Okay, I told you to buy it, that is going up. Some of you thought I was joking. I'm just marketing. It's now £19.99. Buy it now before it goes up again. Okay, I was advised this book should not be less than £30. You need to read it so you understand what I'm talking about. Read the book and see how it's helping a lot of people. You that have a copy of it, don't keep it at home. Follow the strategy and use it. That is why I triumph in the midst of any adversity, and I turn my obstacle to bricks to my success. And I want to say thank you so much for watching. And I love you a lot as always, and God bless you. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button and share. How many people do you have in your contacts? Share to them, or post it on your Facebook, on your Instagram. Share it. I'm the woman who have redefined adversity. I've shared it with you in the video I did last 2 weeks. So go and listen to it. I've redefined adversity, just in case you do not know. All right. Okay. Thank you. And I want to say I love you.